Hi guys, now the game you're looking at is Jaws of Extinction. This is currently on Kickstarter and as we speak 50% towards its goal. Now I randomly came across this game just watching YouTube clips and I instantly backed it after looking into it. The best way to describe it is a 7 Days to Die with a lot better graphics, same principle, trying to fight off hordes but also other players. Now I've actually got a Steam key available for this in the giveaway below, so make sure you check that out and follow the links. Now I'm going to show you the prototype gameplay. There's two versions of the demo. There's a prototype which is like a walkthrough to get used to the game, and an open world sandbox which lets you do base building. Now the base building is a little different because you can actually build a community against other people and forge that community together, build it up and fight zombie hordes and fight other players that are online. A bit like Rust but not as in depth in the raiding techniques that are used in Rust. Now we'll crack into this. I'll show you how it's done from the prototype, the main functions and what you can expect. So guys, that's a quick look at the actual gameplay itself in the prototype version. Now that just demonstrates really the gunplay and how the game's going to be set out, what the zombies are going to be like as well. Now again, this is pre-alpha, so some of this may change. Now I'll quickly show you the open world sandbox version, which you can actually do a bit of base building in as well. So we'll quickly flip to that now and we'll see what it's like. In the open world sandbox version where you can actually build, it shows you a pre-made structure and what's capable within the engine. Now you can grow your own crops, make fertiliser, store water, use campfires, use workbenches to craft certain things, also fortify your base. Now this is a pre-made structure, it's already there. I haven't built this myself, but it just gives you an idea of what you can put in place. Remember, this isn't like Rust. It's basically to make a community to fortify and put things in place. Now I'll quickly show you the build mechanic, which is quite simple to be honest, but I'm sure it will change and get more complicated and more complex as the game develops. As I said, the base building is quite basic, but you have to remember you're not building like you would in a game like, I keep saying it, Rust. You're building like a community base or fortifying a community base which can be put in place for everyone to congregate in. Now the special thing about this game, if someone is quite violent towards people in the server, they can't get into safe zones, so they have like some sort of red sash or something along those lines which show that they're an aggressive player, and it takes them away from being able to do certain things, where if you're a nicer player, if you like, you can actually get into trade areas. So raiding would possibly be a thing. It's hard to say at this moment in time because it's not been fully released as to what the mechanic's going to be for that. But as you'll see in the trailer at the very end, some of the structures you can actually build, and the way they're designing the game, it's an interactive game, so players interact. If you do get that prick that decides to kill on sight all the time, then you're going to know he's a prick. Simple as that. So you need to take into consideration when you're doing your base building or building your communities, or however you want to do the game. Now I'm just going to show you the basics of what can be put in place. Fortifying, trapping, simple structures. As I said, it's very early stages, so these will get more complex as the game develops and the devs start working with people and understanding what they want and what they can do with the engine itself. So don't judge it on what you're seeing now. Base building, putting into games, is quite a difficult thing to do. I mean, we've all seen how hard that is in certain games. It's more of a fortifying strategy you're going to take rather than anti-raid, because there will be hordes, special events happening throughout the server at night. You've got to fight weather conditions as well, so it's all things you have to take into consideration. Now I'll leave you with the official game trailer for Jaws of Extinction. This will show a bit more in depth of what to expect outside of the alpha. Don't forget to join the giveaway below where you can get a Steam key to actually play this version along with the co-op online version, which is coming out in the next couple of days as well. There will also be a link to the Discord for Jaws of Extinction in the description below.
Jaws of Extinction brings you to the apocalyptic lands of Eden Nadir, in which survivors must endure and conquer the open world to outlast the Wanderers. Alone, or with friends, you will be faced with many tough decisions which will impact the world around you. Whether you choose to challenge yourself in the non-linear story or go off the beaten path, you will need to evolve your character and playstyle to survive. Before the outbreak, Eden Nadir was a thriving community, populated by families and businesses, alive with commerce and industry. It now lies in ruins, but the people of Eden Nadir have not given up hope. Jaws of Extinction has an expansive and immersive story. In single player, you'll be working alone to unravel the mysteries of the island. In multiplayer, players must work together to progress the main quest. In addition to the main story, random world events will also occur around the island. Strongholds may come under attack and need defending, or groups might put out a call for help. You can decide to tackle these events by yourself, or work together with other survivors to increase your chances of survival, if you choose to help at all. How you choose to play will be reflected in our adaptive skills system, which allows you to develop the skills you feel are the most important. Whether you wish to raise your combative prowess to help defend against the undead, or develop your construction knowledge to build a better future, the more you practice an ability, the better you'll get at doing it. Traversing the treacherous land of Eden Nadir offers the perfect opportunity to pick up new skills, allowing you to evolve as a character. If you decide to work alongside fellow survivors, you'll have the opportunity to create flourishing communities. Or you may decide to live in complete isolation. Whatever your choice, you'll be given the freedom to customize the area you live in. Whether you prefer to claim a shack out in the woods, or build a beacon of hope for survivors, you'll be able to defend your territory against enemies, with bespoke fortifications and traps. In addition to customizing your own home, you'll also be able to create and modify various tools and weapons with our integrated crafting system. Using items that you've scavenged from nearby cities, or materials you've grown and harvested yourself, you'll be able to make vital equipment which will aid in your survival. The mechanics we have introduced to replicate survival are designed to mimic real life as closely as possible. Temperature, hunger, thirst, and wellness must be monitored and maintained if you wish to avoid the impeding consequences. Your survival skills will be tested even further with our dynamic weather and seasons cycle. Every inch of Eden Nadir's 67 km² map will dynamically change as you play. you will have to adapt to your surroundings if you want to survive. Throughout Eden Nadir, you will come across various types of vehicles. From HGVs to SUVs, you will be able to customize and upgrade them to prepare for the apocalyptic world. Attaching defensive plows and reinforced armor will protect you from wanderers and rogue survivors alike. However, working vehicles aren't always easy to come by. Your transport will need to be repaired and maintained if you intend on mowing down hordes of wanderers. Within Eden Nadir, the undead will pose a constant threat. However, you shouldn't underestimate the living. Every type of character and creature you discover will have their own AI and will respond differently to your actions. To ensure your success, you will have to adapt your playstyle to each encounter. If violence ensues, valuable items or resources may be found on the Fallen, which can aid in your survival. Jaws of Extinction aims to make combat feel as realistic and immersive as possible. You'll be able to defend yourself unarmed, as well as using a wide range of guns and melee weapons. To avoid a kill-on-sight attitude in multiplayer, we will be incorporating an integrity system, which will affect how players and NPCs will respond to you. Those determined to prey on survivors and ransack villages will build a reputation and will be much less likely to be accepted into safe zones for recuperation or trading. The funds from this Kickstarter will enable us to work for 4 months, up until the release of our early access. During this time, we will continue to develop cooperative play, as well as optimize the main map of Eden Nadir. All backers will receive instant access to the Jaws of Extinction prototype, which will grant you a snapshot into the world of Eden Nadir. For more exciting rewards, please visit the support section. The Know Your Enemy development team have been working incredibly hard to give you the survival game we've all been waiting for. We appreciate your continued support and look forward to developing the game with our community.